Now that we are ready to start drawing complex objects, make sure that you have a pencil with a sharp tip and an eraser handy. So this is the duck exercise, and I break down the steps into 4 steps. Normally what students will do when I say, here's a picture, draw this picture, is they go right for the face first. The eyes, the beak of the duck will be drawn first, and that's actually incorrect. What you should do is map out the largest geometric shapes first. So on the duck, that would be the body and the head. And this is a oval, and this is another oval. So let's see. I'll put this oval here. I'm drawing really lightly. I'm just making an ellipse, and I'm not erasing. Erasing comes later. And then the head is somewhere around here. Actually, I'll make the head a little bit bigger. There we go. Because I noticed the back of the head comes to about here on the body. So it should come out here on the body. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. See, even I have to change what I'm doing as I'm drawing. And then the front of the body comes out farther away from the front of the face. So I actually have to come out this way. Like that. All right. Something like that. Please draw along with me if you haven't started already. The second thing that we're going to do is map out the smaller geometric shapes. Still no erasing. So the smaller shapes would be this triangle at the back of the head. The tail end of the duck is more of a triangular shape too, but it's larger than the back of the head one. We have a teardrop shape for the wing here. Something like that. We have a circle for the eye, somewhere around here. And then we have another triangular shape for the beak. It's not going to be perfect right now, but I'm just getting the shape where it needs to go first. All right. Step 3 is to refine your lines. Now we're going to use our eraser. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to erase all of these inside lines that I don't need anymore. And I feel like my head is a little too squished. I feel like it needs to be, sorry about that. I feel like it needs to be taller. Like this needs to be up this way. Which means my eye has to move too because it's too far down. Like there. That looks better. And the beak has this little dip. So at the top it dips down and then comes around. And it actually has a lower beak that you can see right here, really small. So I'll put that in. Like so. Erase the inside here. There we go. I noticed that there was a little bit more space under the beak from the beak to the body, so I had to add that in, which pushes the body out a little bit lower. The front of the chest of the duck, if I draw a straight line up, meets the beak about here. About here. So this is the front. So I'll erase these lines. And as you can see, as I'm erasing and modifying, I'm getting a little bit more secure with my line, so it's becoming a little bit darker now too. Let's do a little bit better of a dip on that beak. Then I'll come down to the bottom of the duck and the butt, if you will, with that tail, and the back end is round. Front end is a little bit more round than I just drew. So I'll erase these. I'll erase the inside lines here and all over the place. These can go away. There we go. And let's do the teardrop wing. So the wing starts about here on the head. So if I come down from here, I did that correctly. I've been drawing this duck for many years. This duck and I are good friends. All right, so there's the wing. All right, so the last step is to add value and make it look three-dimensional with shadows and highlights. And to do that, what I'm going to do is show you where the shadows are. So if you look, let's start with the body. If you look underneath the head, there's a shadow line that goes like this and around and up. So I'm going to outline the shadow this way and around and up. Okay, so now I know that that's there. You'll also notice there's a highlight here, so that's about here. And there's also a highlight on the wing here. The wing itself also has a shadow line that comes up about here. And then underneath the body, there's also a shadow like this. So I'm going to come in with my pencil and I'm just going to start coloring in the darker value, like so, trying to be even with the tone, with the value, the same darkness. It has an abrupt edge, this shadow line, unlike the shadow that's on the bottom of the body. It kind of fades, so we'll do that one next. So here's my shadow there, and now I'm going to come up from the bottom, and this one kind of goes away, right? So you blend that out so it's darker at the bottom, and as you come up the body, you get lighter and lighter with the pressure of your pencil till it kind of disappears. And we're going to do that all the way across the bottom. And on the butt. At this point you might want to re-sharpen your pencil. It might be getting worn. Mine's doing okay. Okay, and now I'm going to do the shadow on the wing. So it's going to start darker and it's going to kind of fade up. That. Now there's also a shadow on the end of the bum and the tail, like this. Now I want to disappear with my marks when I get to that highlight, so I'm really going to try to draw very lightly so that highlight stands out. If you want, you can use your fingers, you can smudge. Normally when I draw, I'm not a smudger. And then you can use your eraser and you can pick up that highlight spot a little bit better. Now this duck is not white, so I want to actually come through and add a little bit of value to the whole body. There's that highlight. There's another line of highlight on the other side of that wing. Okay, now I'm going to come up to the head, and we have a shadow line that blends up from the bottom, but I want this to be a little bit lighter than this shadow so that you can see the separation. And there's actually a little highlight line that separates the head from the body, so I'll leave that highlight line in there. Then I'll come up, fade my shadow. I'm going to go a little bit quicker now that you get the idea, so I can get this done in a timely fashion. There's a darker shadow here on the back of the head, or the triangle. I'm going to use my finger to kind of get some value in here, because the head is also not bright white. I'll use my eraser for the highlight on the forehead. Come in with my pencil. The eye is the darkest, right? So I'm going to press a little bit harder with my pencil to get this eye. And there is a light highlight line in the eye at the top. So I'll leave that little crescent slip of white and darken everything else. And now the last part is the beak. So I'm going to come in where the darker parts are. Leave it blank where the highlight is for now. And the lower lip, or piece of the beak, that is, here. Use my finger to get some more value in there. Use my eraser for the highlight. And I would call that good. Now, there's one more thing that I forgot, and that would be the drop shadow underneath the duck. So I'll draw that in. This makes the duck look like it's not floating in space by adding the drop shadow underneath. Plus, it's just me being observant too. As I'm looking at this duck, I realize, oh yeah, this duck is sitting on something. It's not just floating there. And I'll just make a light value or shade in the drop shadow, just to give a hint that it's sitting on something. And there you have your duck. The next activity is for you to try this on your own by drawing the alien from Toy Story. Don't forget to use the 4 steps, which are located next to the duck. And here's my hint: start with the largest object first and then add smaller objects around it. So the largest object, or the largest shape it should really say, is the body and the head. So that's step 1. So you're going to draw him right here. Good luck and have fun.